Hey guys, Cringe here. So I'm gonna do my waiver wire pickups for fantasy football here for week 3. So far, I think I'm 1-1 with my ESPN team. It's a smaller league. You got you start one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, tight end, kicker, defense. You get the flex. In my nflcom league, we start two quarterbacks, two running backs, three wide receivers, two tight ends, two defenses, two kickers, a flex, a D-line, a linebacker, a D-back. So over there, I got a big league. I'm 0-2 over there. I lost the first week by 25. I lost last week by less than 3, of course. So then on my ESPN team, I'm 1-1, and I lost last week because I put Kamara on the bench for Mason from the Niners. That's my luck, though. That's how it goes. If I had played Kamara, Mason would have went off for like 4 touchdowns. So, but I'm gonna do the ESPN one because, like I said, my nfl.com team, like, they're big rosters, so we basically own almost everybody unless you're gonna try to go hit like a sleeper guy. Like, we all have 3 quarterbacks. We all have like 5 or 6 running backs, 6 or 7 wide receivers. So I'm gonna look at the ESPN one, and I'm just gonna breeze through and I'll look and see like first let's go through like what they have on here. So the Dolphins are down Tua. It's probably gonna be for a while. I know Tua says he doesn't want to retire. Me personally, as a Dolphins fan, like, I like Tua. I always wanted Herbert in the first place. But Tua, man, you know, you got to remember, you got the concussion at Alabama, I think in his final year. It's like, then you had the one against the Bills, the following week against the Bengals, then later in the year against the Packers, and now again against the Bills. Come on, man, like, it's not worth it. I know you just got paid and you probably want to live up to that contract, but nobody is going to look at you any different if you walk away, man. And it sucks because, like I said, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I mean, I like Tua. We look good with Tua, but hey, man, like, you got kids, you got a family, people count on you. Nobody's going to give you shit if you hang it up, man. So, would I like you to return and play and for us to be awesome? Yes, but it's not worth the risk, man. It's not. But they have the Dolphins placed Tua on IR. We did pick up Huntley, who is the Ravens quarterback, the backup guy. He did make the Pro Bowl a couple seasons ago, but I think that's only because nobody in the AFC wanted to go to the Pro Bowl. So our Pro Bowl roster that year was probably like Mac Jones, Huntley. It might have been the year that Tua. No, I think Tua might have been last year. I forget, but we didn't have like crap for quarterbacks that year. It's like Burrow, no Herbert, no Mahomes. So Huntley got in because nobody else wanted to go. But the Chiefs are also down. Isaiah Pacheco, he's going to be out for a bit. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is still out, so they're going to have to go with that Steele kid. They did just re-sign Kareem Hunt to the practice squad, so we'll have to see there. The Cowboys still have Dalvin Cook down in their practice squad. We'll have to see there. A.J. Brown, the wide receiver for the Eagles, he's going to be out for a few weeks. Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver for the 49ers, he's going to be out for a few weeks. Jordan Love is already out, the quarterback for the Packers. The Giants just lost their kicker, Graham Gano. Cooper Kupp most likely is going to be out for a little while, along with Puka Nacua, who's already going to be out for a bit. That's what I'm seeing here, at least off the top of the list. Not that anybody owns Bryce Young, but Bryce Young was benched for Andy Dalton. Can't think of anything else, but let's take a look at some guys. So I'll start with quarterbacks. So on the waiver wire over here, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. So you got Herbert playing the Steelers. I don't specifically like the matchup, but Baker Mayfield, though, he's playing Denver. I don't understand how Baker's still not owned. I think he's the #1 quarterback in fantasy right now. You got Jared Goff against the Cardinals. I'd take a flyer on Jared Goff. I mean, this is like if you own Mahomes, you're playing Mahomes. If you own Lamar Jackson, you're playing Lamar. So I'm just out here because maybe not everybody's in a small league. Maybe some of you are in a bigger league like I am, or like a dynasty league, or you need some options here. So I mean, Kirk Cousins pulled it off last night. I needed him to hit Kyle Pitts a couple times there at the end. I lost by less than fucking 3. If he had just hit Pitts for something, I would have won, but of course not. And of course they win. They come back and win. Stafford's out here. I'm staying away from Stafford, man. He's got to figure out some wide receivers. I'm sure some guys will step up, but who? When? Justin Fields, he's going to be the starter again, playing the Chargers defense, though. Let's see, Deshaun Watson, he gets a crack at the Giants. I'm not too high on Watson right now, but he does have all the pieces around him to have a good game. One of these weeks he's got to break out and have a 5-touchdown game. Can it be this week against the Giants? Maybe. Geno Smith plays the Dolphins, and that Dolphins defense hasn't looked great yet. We lost some key pieces, and I mean, it shows. It's showing so far. I mean, on paper, we didn't look bad when the season started, but they're not looking too hot right now. Let's see, Bo Nix, you're not touching Nix. Derek Carr is still available. I mean, he's just gone out and produced 40-point games back-to-back. Once, he did that against the Panthers, so everybody's like, nah. But he just did it against the Cowboys, so I'm impressed, Let's see, Bryce Young, Levis. I'm not touching any of these guys. Sam Darnold's still available. Houston's probably a tough matchup, but he's gone out there and he's produced, man. He's put up better numbers than Purdy. So, let's see. Russ probably isn't going to start. Minshew. I mean, this has Tom Brady listed on it. So, I was waiting for the Dolphins to do something there. I mean, Brady's the man, don't get me wrong. He's the best of all time, but we don't need it. I was kind of hoping that we went out and signed Cam Newton. I think a guy with a big arm that can run, that has experience. And Cam was the MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl. He says he's still in shape. That's the type of guy the Dolphins need. So Huntley might fit in if Thompson ends up faltering. That's another one. Skylar Thompson is available, but I'm not sure I start him. Even with the powerhouse wide receivers that he has, he's still got to find his footing out there. And I hope he does. Really, I hope he does. Let's see. All right, I think that's really it for quarterbacks. Like I said, you own guys like Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Purdy, or you're obviously just going to start these guys. But if you need some depth, that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the waivers over here. Running backs, that Steele guy for the Chiefs might be somebody worth picking up. Let's see. Not really seeing anybody over here. I thought Jalen Wright would have had a huge week last week. That would have been the game to pop him in and just let him do his thing. But obviously it's all the Panthers running backs are here. I mean, Andy Dalton might come in and do something. So that Chuba Hubbard or Miles Sanders, I don't know which one you would want to take a flyer on right about now. The Texans are down. Mixon's going to be out probably for a little bit, but said Dameon Pierce is banged up too, so it's Cam Akers. I mean, with the Houston offense, whoever is the starting running back over there, I'm willing to take a flyer on. So I'm just not sure if it's going to be Dameon Pierce or if it's going to be Cam Akers this week. Alexander Madison for the Raiders, he's been producing, and he's not going to be top 10, top 15, but if you're looking for a running back, Alexander Madison's not bad. Justice Hill for the Ravens, he catches passes, So he's not putting up like eye-popping stats, but he's catching passes. Braylon Allen for the Jets, the rookie. He didn't do much week 1, but he had a pretty big week last week. He had a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown. Samaje Perine, like he might be the Chiefs guy. I think they go more with that Steele guy. He's impressed. So, yeah, Carson Steele. I'm not really seeing anybody else down there that looks like they're worth taking. Deuce Vaughn, I don't think he's been producing yet. At the end of this, though, I will go back. I'll look at all the teams and I'll give you like some insight on some like. Oh wait, yeah, no, we're just doing waiver wires. I was gonna do my fantasy, play or not. So this is just some waiver wire stuff I'm looking at. Forgot about that. I'm not really seeing anything else over here. Maybe I should go back and look at like my nfl.com one, because maybe we're sleeping on some guys. Let's look at some wide receivers here. The wide receiver list should be good. You got Mike Williams against the Patriots. I haven't seen him really do anything yet, but it's not a bad guy to have. You could maybe pick him up, stash him on the bench. Thielen is probably gonna get some, like him and Deontay Johnson are probably gonna look a little better with Andy Dalton out there this week. Gabe Davis for the Jags. They're at Buffalo, so that's where he comes from. He could end up having a game. Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys. They're playing Baltimore, though. That's a tough one. Does Baltimore start 0-3, or the Cowboys start 1-2? Oof. Josh Palmer, he hasn't really done anything yet. You get these wide receivers for the Rams, though. One of them has to step up. It's Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell. Like, one of these guys has to step up. So, I mean, if I had to put money on which of those 3 guys, I'm going to go with Tutu Atwell. I think Atwell ends up being the guy. Demarcus Robinson, he could be the guy too. So, and a lot of people were high on the Tyler Johnson, is it? Yeah, Tyler Johnson, I think. A lot of people were high on him going into the season. Jalen Polk for the Patriots. He had a touchdown last week. He had the first score, I believe. And he's a rookie, but didn't look too bad. The Packers receivers, Watson got me 0 last week, so I'm not sure there. Romeo Doubs is available. He had almost 10 points last week. There's Alec Pierce. He's been balling. I think the Colts have been down Josh Downs, so Alec Pierce has had 2 pretty big games to start the year. It's worth stashing on the bench. It's Wendell Robinson. That's decent. They're playing the Browns defense, though. It's Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson might be somebody to look at, especially with A.J. Brown down. Still has Josh Downs questionable. Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson had a monster week for the Chargers last week. I forgot all about that. Tyler Boyd really hasn't been doing anything yet with Tennessee. Rashad Bateman hasn't been doing much. Marvin Mims. I thought Marvin Mims might be a guy Bo Nix would go to, but he really hasn't done anything yet either. You got McCaffrey's brother for Washington, but he hasn't done anything. I'm waiting to see when Kendrick Bourne comes back for the Patriots. I think that'll be good. Pearsall for the Niners might be coming back soon. Odell Beckham probably coming back soon. These are guys you might want to pick up and stash. Jawan Jennings for the 49ers with Debo being out. He's good, man. I like him. He was good in the Super Bowl last year, too. That might be a sneaky guy to stash. It's got Zay Jones. It says he's suspended. Juju, but he hasn't done anything yet with Kansas City. Elijah Moore had a decent game last week. We had an Elijah Moore sighting in Cleveland. I liked him, but nobody uses him right. Let's see, I'm getting pretty down there, so I'm not sure. Jalen Naylor, I forgot. Justin Jefferson, he got injured too. I don't know if he's going to end up missing time or not, but Jalen Naylor might be a guy to look at. I mean, I just went all the way down. Dontavian Wicks for Green Bay. He had a decent game. So it must have been all Dobbs and Wicks. I think Josh Jacobs ended up going off last week. So let's see, tight ends. The tight ends have looked strange so far. Like Mark Andrews, like Likely's the guy over there. Andrews hasn't been doing much. Kelsey hasn't been doing much. Kittle had a monster game last week, but I don't think he did much week 1. So over here it's Njoku. He's questionable. He's got that. He got hurt in the first week, so I'm not even sure he's going to play. They have him projected to get points, though. Taysom Hill's questionable, too. He didn't do anything last week, but he's a guy, he's going to be so hit or miss. Like, there's going to be that week or 2 or 3 where Taysom Hill puts up monster numbers, most likely, but which week? I have no idea. Yeah, Colby Parkinson for the Rams because Higbee's still out. Like I said, somebody's got to do something over there on the Rams. Conklin, he didn't do much last week. Komet hasn't been doing much, so I get why he's out here in free agency land, but Komet's a guy you might want to pick up. Like, eventually that offense is going to get rolling. They play the Colts this week in Indianapolis. Hunter Henry, I don't know how Hunter Henry's not owned. He almost had 20 points last week. They're playing at the Jets, but he's gonna be the security blanket over there for Brissett. So, and he'll probably be the same security blanket if they throw Drake May in. Hayden Hurst for the Chargers, but he hasn't done much. Ertz hasn't done much. He had a decent game last week. Let's see, Noah Fant, he hasn't done much. You got the Green Bay tight ends, but with Malik Willis in there, they're probably not going to do much for a little while. So Mike Gesicki had a decent game. I thought he would the first week, but it was last week that he had a decent game. He had 16 points. He's on the Bengals now. Jonnu Smith had a decent game. I think Skylar likes going to... I think Skylar and Jonnu will end up being a decent combo, so I would add Jonnu Smith. There's Foster Moreau. He didn't do anything. I think I seen that the Cowboys tight end, is it Ferguson, might be hurt? So Schoonmaker might be worth an add. He had 10 points last week. It still has Darren Waller on it. He's retired. Somebody actually drafted him in my big league. So it's Michael Mayer's over there. Brock Bowers has been the guy so far. That's really all I'm seeing down here for tight ends. Let's see. Defense, special teams. So Seahawks defense against the Dolphins, I hate to say it, but the Seahawks might be worth a stream this week. Lions against the Cardinals, the Cardinals offense looks pretty monstrous. So let's see. Other ones worth, I'm not really seeing anything out there that's worth picking up. Maybe the Packers defense against the Titans. Patriots D against the Jets. I don't really like that one though. The Raiders defense against the Panthers might be a good one to stream. Max Crosby is a beast. Buccaneers defense against the Broncos. That's all I'm really seeing over there. We'll take a peek at kickers, but I'm not going to get crazy with kickers. Let's see. Harrison Butker's available. The Chiefs score points, so they're playing the Falcons. Let's see. Caro Santos, the Bears kicker. Like I said, eventually that offense is going to get going. I'd say Jason Sanders, but I'm not sure what to expect from Miami's offense right now. Let's see. McLaughlin, Cardi, Nick Folk. Not really seeing anything on here though. Yeah, kickers are kickers. They'll just get whatever. So they're hit or miss too. You just got to figure out which one to grab. Let me take a look. Minshew might be worth a start against the Panthers. Jacoby Brissett don't look too bad either. Malik Willis might not be bad at Tennessee. I don't know. Tennessee has a decent defense, but they keep losing. Everybody else, Skylar Thompson, I want to see something first. So I'm looking at nfl.com now. So like I said, there's not many guys available over here. We basically own everybody. There's Braylon Allen, Alexander Madison, Justice Hill, this Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier. That's not anybody like blowing off the page, but kind of curious to see who's still available for wide receivers. Nobody in my big league where you can start 4 wide receivers owns Rashid Shaheed. That is crazy. Wow. So I think this right here is just showing me fantasy points over here for what they've got on the season. So Jalen Naylor's got 23.5 points already. He's already got 4 catches and 2 touchdowns. So Wendell Robinson don't look too bad based off these stats either. That Andre Iosivas guy for the Bengals, he's already got 2 touchdowns. Mooney's got a touchdown and over 100 yards. Let's see. Gabe Davis, Jacoby Myers. It's probably not a bad guy to look at. In the smaller leagues, like these are probably guys you don't want to go look at, but in bigger leagues, it's not bad. Let's see who's out there for tight ends. I know Mike Gesicki's not on because I had him week 1, but I dropped him. Yeah, tight end's terrible, man. Foster Moreau, Elijah Higgins, Juwan Johnson, they all have touchdowns. Darnell Washington, touchdowns. But these guys barely have double-digit points on the season, so let's look at defenses. We start 2. So over here, the Vikings defense is still available. The Texans defense, I dropped them already. That's really it. I thought Atlanta would have a nice defense, and I mean they're not bad, but they're not putting up like monster points. Let's see, kickers. Chase McLaughlin, the Bucks kicker. Braden Narvison, Green Bay's kicker. You got Jake Bates, the Lions kicker. That's all I'm really seeing over here. There's this one though, like I said, we start defensive players, so let's see who's out here for defense. Like the top D linemen are Keon White for the Patriots, Ashawn Robinson for the Panthers, Will McDonald IV for the Jets. It's got Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals, Trayvon Walker for the Jags. That's like really, that's really it that I'm seeing over here. Linebackers are where the points are at, though. So let's see. You got Spillane for the Raiders, Jermaine Pratt for the Bengals, Van Ginkel for the Vikings. That's my dude. Love Van Ginkel. Devin Lloyd for the Jags, Shaq Thompson for the Panthers, Josie Jewell for the Panthers. Yeah, there's not a lot of high-scoring linebackers out there either. We must own everybody. D-backs, you got Nick Cross for the Colts, Kamari Connor for the Chiefs. A lot of these are guys I don't even know. Reed Blankenship for the Eagles. Kyle Duggar for the Pats, I dropped him. Budda Baker for the Cardinals. Yeah, so those are just guys to add, and later on in the week, like before the Thursday game, I'll do my fantasy quarterback, fantasy running back, fantasy wide receiver, pass catchers basically. So it's wide receiver and tight end, and then fantasy defenses to do the player don't play. So I'll do those later in the week. I think as a bonus right now, I'm going to show you guys, I'm down in my basement, and it's a crazy, like I have crazy stuff. Let me see if I can flip. It's not going to let me flip my phone around. That's weird. There's a button right there, but it's not letting me get off the phone. So this is already a 25-minute video anyways, but my next video, I'm going to pick who I think wins each division before the start of week 3. So we're 2 weeks in. Usually by week 3, I have a feel for a lot of the stuff. So I'll do who I think is going to win each division. I got a board for it. It's like I said, I can't get my camera to flip around right now, but you know, I have like a I have a board where it's magnets. I'll do all that again, and I ought to do like a video of my basement. I'll show you guys all like the stuff that I collect, because it's a bunch of crazy shit. So I think you guys would like to see it though. But hey, thanks for watching. Have a good night.